Kim Jong-un said North Korea is working towards becoming the world's most powerful nuclear force. State media reported the leader's announcement on Sunday. It came as he promoted dozens of military officers involved in the November 18 launch of the new Hwasong-17, the country's largest intercontinental ballistic missile to date. State TV KRT released pictures of Kim and his daughter posing for photos with the military officials, scientists, engineers, and others involved in the test. In his order promoting the officers, Kim said building up the country's nuclear force would, quote, reliably protect the dignity and sovereignty of the state and the people, adding that the country's ultimate goal is to possess the world's most powerful strategic force, the absolute force unprecedented in the century. Kim also praised the scientists as having made a wonderful leap forward in developing the technology of mounting nuclear warheads on ballistic missiles. In another report, state news agency KCNA said the Hwasong-17 clearly proved that North Korea is, quote, a full-fledged nuclear power capable of standing against the nuclear supremacy of the U.S. imperialists. With the Hwasong-17 able to reach the United States mainland, the earlier test launch prompted Washington to urge the United Nations Security Council to hold Pyongyang accountable for its missile tests. Such tests are banned by Security Council resolutions.
All praises, infinite honor, and glory be to Yahweh.
Mounting nuclear warheads.
Shimmer Kakwadash, double honor as always, to Miyat, to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect. Habayath Madawadah, the house of David, the brothers is laboring, day in and day out, giving all diligence to make their calling of election sure, helping seal the elect of the nation of Israel for the return of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai is at hand, and to the Akim Wa'agwath, which are the brothers and sisters that also listen and believe on the glorious gospel being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Unto you, I say shalom. So shalom to the hopeful elect. This is the brother Sakalah, back another day, all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who's the God of heaven and earth. I don't want about this out as lessons edifying to the hopeful elect, those that view the lesson. So I'll go ahead and start here. This is the book of Joel, because when we see North Korea, it says it's aiming for the strongest nuclear force. They're aiming to be the superior nuclear power on the earth. And a lot of their GDP and funding throughout their country is used on, and it's been used over the last decade or more, predominantly for war equipment and testing long-range nuclear missiles and pretty much promoting nuclear proliferation around the world. So they're pushing many other powers on the earth, you know, with all their testing and all of their advances in nuclear weapons to arm up. And it's alerting America, you know, the EU, NATO, the beast system, all of them are on alert and they're concerned. Even in the region, staunch ally of America going into Japan and South Korea, the Korean Peninsula is they're very concerned. And that concern comes from the advances of North Korea. So all of this is biblical prophecy. And North Korea was once, you know, some time ago looked at as an insignificant nation, maybe 20, 25 years ago. But what makes them significant now is that they have the button. They can push the button and they can touch the mainland of the United States, which is all biblical prophecy. So let's jump into it through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And I'll start here in Joel 3 and 9. And I'm going to read this in the NLT. Joel 3 and 9 in the New Living Translation. And it says, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. And that's what Kim Jong-un is saying with his actions, with the strong provocation, with shooting 30 rockets, you know, last month in a span of about eight days or so. That's what's being said, which is get ready for war. Joel 3 and 9 in the NLT, say to the nations far and wide, meaning all nations, but more specifically America, Babylon the Great, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. So all these nations' warriors are getting ready to advance, it says, for the attack. Joel 3 and 10, hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. So that's what's happened over the last 20, 25, 30 years, right? North Korea is just one of many nations, that have advanced greatly, acquiring and obtaining, the knowledge of that, the nuclear weapon. So they have done that also in countries like Syria and Iran, India and Pakistan. Many of these countries 30, 40 years ago were looked at as insignificant, as not key players on the stage. Now, a lot of these nations are part of the G20. Now, they wouldn't allow North Korea to be a part of that, but India is, right? India is, and other nations as well. China has joined on, even though they are, one of the more powerful nations on the planet. But a lot of nations that were looked at as insignificant, right, have hammered their plowshares into swords and their pruning hook into spears. Now they're pushing, a spirit on the earth to come against Babylon the Great, to come against America, right? So that's what we see going on day in and day out, all through the spirit of the Lord. Joel 3:10 in the NLT again, hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. Verse 11, come quickly, all you nations everywhere, gather together in the valley. And now, O Lord Yahweh, call out your warriors. So now we see all the nations being gathered, right? So let the weak say, I am strong. All these nations are gathering to do the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh, to do the bidding of the Lord, which is to bring forth biblical prophecy, as it says in Zephaniah 3 and verse 8, that the Most High's determination is to gather the nations, that he may assemble the kingdoms, right, to fight in the battle of Armageddon. Now, let's continue forward. This is the book of Isaiah 14 and verse 5, and it reads, it says, the Lord Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. And who is that? Esau, Edom, the wicked elites of Esau. Verse 7. Matter of fact, I'll go down to the point. Let's go from there to Isaiah 14, and let's just get right to the point. Verse 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, speaking of Esau, Edom, art thou also become weak as we? See, those insignificant nations now are puffing at Esau, saying, have you become just like us? Meaning through them acquiring, that nuclear technology and creating the ICBM and having that, now many nations have got the equalizer, so to speak, which is those bombs, which is those missiles. Once again, which is all prophecy. Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Verse 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So this system in Esau is going to be destroyed, right? It's deteriorating. Verse 12, Isaiah 14 and 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, which is, the Illuminati, the wicked elite of Esau, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And how did they weaken the nations? From their philosophies, from taking all of their resources and ruling the world. Once again, it says with a continuous stroke. So therefore the nations are mad, literally and figuratively. Continuing on, which didst weaken the nations. Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. That's North America. So now Esau has tried to surpass, the people of the Most High, which he has done, because the scriptures say that the Edomites are wiser than the children of light, which are the Israelites. But he's also set himself up as the Most High, right? So now the Most High is soon to bring him down because of what? Because of all of his pride. Now let's show that. This is the book of Obadiah, showing you the pride of Esau. Obadiah 1 and verse 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Hadawan Yahweh concerning Edom. These are the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh concerning the Edomites. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is set among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle, speaking of Esau. And Esau will be ruling, when you read throughout the scriptures, in Babylon, right? The daughter of Babylon, America. Verse 2, Obadiah 1 and 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. So from the Amalekites, the head of Esau, right? The head tribe of Esau, so to speak, down to the nation, starting with them, the wicked elite. The Lord said he have made thee small. Now you go into the word small here in Obadiah 1 and 2, it says small is the word H6996, Quatan. And it says small, young, small, insignificant, unimportant. So Esau now doesn't have the same significance on the planet. America isn't looked at the same as it once was 40, 50 years ago, right? Going back to the time where, when you read in Revelation the 13th chapter, you know, those atomic bombs that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So in the last 60 years, all the nations have been arming up, getting ready for what? The big dance, World War III, right? So this word small, the Lord said he made these small among the heathen, young. It says insignificant, unimportant. So now it goes on to say, it says of little authority or importance. So now the way the nations see the Edomites is not the same as they did before. So let's show that further. This is the book of Jeremiah 50, going into Esau losing his power grip on the earth. This is Jeremiah, once again, 50 and verse 23. And it reads, it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? How has Babylon lost its power? Which General Wesley Clark spoke about Babylon being the hammer of the earth years ago, showing you that's all spiritual. And it's all through the Spirit of the Lord that these things are revealed. How it all comes to life, you know, from the scriptures, you know, into, you know, into the world today as we see it, knowing that this is all by the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. So America is known as the hammer of the earth. How have they been cut asunder? How have they lost their power? Is what's being said. Now I want to get this word here for hammer, because this goes into why the nation said that they are insignificant, you know, amongst the nations in Obadiah 1 and 2. So let's see if I can get it. So the word hammer, see, I think it's down here in the lexicon. The word hammer. Yep, the word hammer goes into, it's a metaphor, it says, for Babylon. It says the hammer, i.e. the devastator of the whole earth. So Babylon has devastated the earth. But now, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh, all the nations, you know, have armed up and are getting ready, you know, for this final conflict, World War III, which this is a World War III update. Now, continuing on, because North Korea said they want to have the strongest nuclear arsenal on the planet, which is a direct threat to national security, the national security of America and all of its allies, and those far and near, which South Korea will be one, also Japan, and all those in that region that are allies of America, even going further over into the Pacific, you know. So this is a direct threat. And America has, when you look into this, America has threatened to use preemptive strikes if need be to stop North Korea, you know, through their intelligence from being able to advance forward or actually attack any of its allies or the mainland of America. So now let's show that further. It's the book of Micah 2 and 1, speaking of Esau losing his power and how the MO on Esau has been put out, which is by way of the prophets and by way of the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Micah 2 and 1, woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. That's what Esau has done, right? He's went all around the earth, taking peace from the earth and destroying nations. And it's going to show that here in a second. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, because they've been given the power. In 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, it tells you that. Matter of fact, let me just get that through the Spirit of Hadawan. It says because it's in the power of their hand. So who was giving them that power? Yahweh Shem Yahweh is giving this power to the Edomites, and it's to fulfill prophecy. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 7, and it reads, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the Most High is he who letteth until he take him out of the way, until he's fulfilled his part in prophecy. Going back to Micah 2 and verse 1. Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. So the Most High given Esau the power to fulfill prophecy. Verse 2, and he's almost done with his part in the movie as the villain because Esau is being taken away. Micah 2 and 2, and they covet fields, speaking of Esau, Edom, what he's done to the earth, and take them by violence, which are all the nations in different lands, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So the people of the earth have become mad because they've been oppressed by the philosophies and by the rule of the wicked. So now let's show that even further. Let's get the book of Job 9 and verse 24. Job 9 and 24, and it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the wicked are the Edomites. And if they weren't, then who's the wicked? I saw some video the other day where somebody was saying that the Japhites were, the Edomites, which is not according to the scriptures. It's not according to prophecy. And we don't see the Japhites ruling in the last days. We don't see those Japhetic nations ruling, in the size of the North, in North America, right? And all the other things that show forth who Esau is. So we know that kind of, assumption and assertion is not congruent with the scriptures. So the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, which is what we're speaking about. Only he who now letteth will let till he be taken out of the way. So the Most High is about to take the man of sin out of the way. Let's show that further. Sirach 2 and 10 and 8. Sirach 10 and 8, and it reads, because of unrighteous dealings, which is what Esau has done, going back to Micah 2 and other precepts. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So the kingdom is being translated before our very eyes, which is 2 Ezra 6 chapter, the 9th verse, which tells us, that Esau is the end of the world. His rule, and his reign of tyranny over the earth is almost over. It's the sand in the hourglass, So Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is about to assume rulership. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, which is what? Rulership. Jacob's rulership is about to start now. So now, let me show that further, and I got one more precept, and we'll close it out. This is the book of 2 Ezra 15 and verse 20, and it reads, behold, saith Yahweh, I will call together all the kings of the earth, which is what we read in Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the 9th verse, start the lesson. 2 Ezra 15 and 20, behold, saith Yahweh, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. So what the Most High is doing is drawing all the nations together, right? And to show his power. To show his power, right? And to bring fear back on the earth, which are from the rising of the sun, right? Which is in the east, from the south. It says, and from the east and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. And who's the them? Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, speaking of the elect, the nation of Israel as a whole, but also the chosen, whom the Lord is going to give clemency to and salvation. As they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also in recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh. So this is the recompense unto all the demonic nations, all the nations that forgot Ha'adawan Yahweh Yahweh Shai, right? So the recompense is pure destruction unto the earth, right? Pure destruction unto various parts of the earth, but also the rule and hegemony of the Edomites. I pray that was edifying through the Rakak Wadash. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor, as always, from Yah to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect. Habayath Madawada, the house of David, the brothers laboring day in and day out, giving all diligence to make their calling of election sure, helping seal the elect of the nation of Israel for the return of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai is at hand. And to the Akim Wagwath, brothers and sisters that also listen and believe on the glorious gospel being preached throughout the four corners of the earth, unto you I say shalom. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Abba Babal, Abba Babal, Kwam Yasha Allah.